it's just an example. Purdue losing to Fresno State is okay. We still win the Big Ten West. But me,
Billy Napier gets fired. I'm just kidding.
hey, really the best time of the year. I will be seated watching Red Zone for 7 hours on Sunday. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to a new episode of Backyard Banter. James, Johnny, Tanner, we're all here. We're all back. Big episode today. Finals start on Thursday. We'll have our full NBA Finals breakdown and preview. We also have a new grid. It's been a little while since we've done those. We brought it back. And then we're going to get into a little bit of baseball. You guys, how we doing?
Fantastic.
Excited for the finals to get going, and man, and then it's officially baseball's kicking into high gear. So,
yeah, for sure. Speaking of the finals, we'll go one by one. Let's each give a key that each team needs to do to win, and then pick a winner. James, I will start with you. Who's going to win the finals and why?
So I keep going back and forth on who I'm going to predict to win. Who I want to win is Dallas. I want Dallas to win. And I think that's going to be my prediction. I think Dallas is going to win. I think Boston is an incredible team. But for me, and maybe I'm missing something, but the fact that Kristaps is still like just questionable for this.
No, he got cleared today. He got cleared this morning. Yeah, he got cleared.
So he's playing game one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So even then, I'm still going to go with Dallas. And the reason I'm going to go with Dallas is because 2 episodes ago or whatever, I said this, the thing the Mavericks need to do is they need to get Kyrie and Luka to play great basketball together. I felt like we hadn't seen it all playoffs. And then next thing you know, they start going off together. And when you have 2 guys like Kyrie and Luka, and Johnny, you've said it on clips, you've said it on shorts for the last few weeks, that he is by far the best number 2 in the history of the NBA. And he is just unreal. And the fact that he can go for 36 and Luka can go for 36 on any given night is a reason why I think the Mavs are going to win. But the problem is we started seeing Jason Tatum kind of come into himself the last 2 games of that series versus the Pacers. But the inconsistency for the Boston Celtics at the star level is the question mark for me. So for me, I'm going to pick the Mavericks because of Luka and Kyrie.
I love that.
Yeah, I think in this series, for the Celtics, it really comes down to Drew Holiday. For me, he played tremendously well in that Pacers series. I mean, I don't know if this is right, but it seemed like to me as a Pacer fan, he shot like 80% from the field that series. I don't know what it was, but that's just what it felt like. It felt like he was hitting big shots and big moments, and he was just making every defensive play. Him and Jaylen Brown on the defensive end of the floor are the key for the Celtics. Can they make those defensive plays late in games when they need stops? I think they can. I think the Celtics defensively are unbelievable. Derek White's another great defender. Tatum can defend. Porzingis out of that 5 is probably the weakest defender, and it's not like he's a terrible defensive player. So for me, with the Celtics, it comes down to containing Luka and Kyrie, which I think they have more than enough pieces to do. And then looking at it from the Mavericks perspective, it really comes down to what they get outside of Luka and Kyrie. You know what you're going to get out of those 2. Can those role players continue to step up? PJ Washington has been tremendous in the playoffs. Can he keep that going? Daniel Gafford, can he keep being a rebounder, rim protector type guy? And can he step out and guard Kristaps on the perimeter? You know, Porzingis is going to step out and hit some shots. So for me, it's those other players on the Mavs. And for the Celtics, it's going to be Drew Holiday and Jaylen Brown on the defensive end of the floor. I think the Celtics, I know a lot of people like to hate on them. They're kind of the bad boys. People don't really like them because they're so good. I appreciate their greatness. This is a tremendous basketball team. They won 64 games. They're just a great basketball team. They don't have any weaknesses. They have no flaws. And for that, I mean, they've been the best best team all season long. And I'm going to roll with them. I think I'm going to take the Celtics to win in 5 or 6 games. Even though I think the Mavs are also a great team, I just think the Celtics are on that next level. So I'm rocking with the Celtics.
I love those 2 picks. And Tanner, I was researching. Drew Holiday shot almost 60% from the field in the Pacers series. So
it was absurd.
Yeah, he was really good in that series. This series as a whole is very interesting because each team is just, I don't know, they're successful in their own way, which is kind of silly to say every team's successful in their own way, but Tanner, here's something really interesting to say. Boston is like this villain of a team, and everyone's going to call them like chokers if they don't win. They've been in the Eastern Conference Finals, what, since 2018, they were in it. 2020,
Seven
they
in a
were
row.
in. No, because the Bucks played the Hawks in one of the Eastern Conference
That's
Finals.
right. 6 out of the last 7.
Yeah, it's like 5 of 7, 6 of 7. And when they went in 2018, that was like a rebuilding year. They weren't supposed to be there that year. So they arrived early. And since they arrived early, everyone is crucifying them if they don't win. Since they didn't win in 22, everyone's crucifying them like that was their year. Jason Tatum was like 23 years old trying to lead a team to the finals against arguably a top 10 player ever. Like, you're not supposed to win that series. This is a series they're supposed to win. But even if they don't win, I'm still not crucifying this core. I'm still not saying they should blow it up. Like, they arrived early. Right now is they're starting to hit their peak. This year, next year, and the next year after that, I think is their absolute peak to win a championship. With all that being said, there's two really main keys. How is Boston going to guard Luka in the pick and roll? Because they are going to go to that so often throughout this series. And Luka is the best pick and roll player in the NBA right now. The Timberwolves blitzed him, and it wasn't that successful. That's what I would do personally. I think you have to double Luka and make someone else beat you. But that someone else happens to be Kyrie Irving. And if Kyrie Irving gets going, then there's really nothing you can do. For Boston, it's you need to tag, or for Dallas, I should say, what's your rim protection like? Because there's no Rudy Gobert you can sag off now, right? Tanner, how did it work for the Pacers when they tried to sag off Al Horford and let him shoot?
He hit 7 threes in game 3, I believe. Maybe
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
8.
And now they have Kristaps, who's a better shooter than Al Horford. He was almost 40% this year. So that's going to be really interesting to see. Daniel Gafford likes to lurk and kind of be that free safety and really protect at the rim. But for Boston, and this is the biggest key for both players, who's ever role players play better should win the series, because it's not a wash. Like, Luka's better than Tatum, but they're both like top 8 players. And then Kyrie and Jaylen Brown are both like top 25 players. And then after that, Boston's like, man, we have the best starting 5 all year. Cool. If PJ Washington shoots 50% from 3 like he did in the first 2 rounds, the Mavs are going to the finals. If Derrick Jones Jr. keeps shooting at an insane rate and guarding at a high rate, the Dallas are going to win the finals. So the keys in this series, it's yes, their star players need to play better. Like, whoever star players need to be better. But who's going to play better between Drew Holiday and Derek White? And then PJ Washington, Derek Lively, and Derrick Jones Jr. That's a huge key in this series. And with all that being said, I think it goes 7. And then in a game 7, I'm taking the best player, and Luka is the best player. So I'm tentatively picking Dallas in 7. I really don't have any confidence in that pick, because I could very well see Boston winning in 5, because they're the most complete team and they could hit 23s in a game like they've done all year. I'm just very hesitantly picking Dallas in 7, because I think the role players will each have their own kind of game. And then if it gets to a game 7, I like the best player to win the series.
Yeah.
I don't hate that pick. I don't hate it.
Yeah. But I think like I could very well see Boston win in 5, but I can't see Dallas win in 5, if that makes sense. Like, I think if Dallas wins this a long series, Boston could very well win in 7, but I think Boston could win in 5 or 6. Just getting Kristaps back is huge, and like, how healthy is he is going to be just a massive question. Like, playoff basketball, JJ Redick always talks about it. A playoff game is like 3 regular season games, and then elimination game times out by like 4. So he's missed out. What, it's been 6 weeks, game 2 of the first 3 of the first round.
Been a while.
I think like April since he's been out, but he did get that full time to recover. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a great series. But God, Tatum's been so inconsistent throughout this whole season. But if he plays like the All NBA first team player that he has been, Boston will win. If he doesn't, and if Jaylen Brown doesn't have that 40-point game and clutch 3, you could be in trouble. But hesitantly picking Dallas in 7.
Yeah,
Real quick, shout out Bill White, one of my dad's best friends. He's a huge Dallas fan. Texas A&M. That pick's for you, Bill White, Dallas in 7.
Yeah, I got 2 points kind of piggyback off of the beginning of your statement there, John. I like how you mentioned like the Celtics, how they're kind of at that peak. 2018, they were underdogs. Well, 2 years ago when they made the finals, they were kind of that underdog story, because they entered that new year like almost halfway through the season under 500, I believe. And then they just scratch and clawed to a 2 seed, made the finals where they ran into maybe the greatest Steph Curry's played in his career and lost in the finals. And then you look at last year, they were kind of that dominant team. They were a 2 seed, kind of fighting it out with the Bucks for the 1. And yeah, they got down 3-0 to the Heat. But they stormed back, sent it 7. And if it wasn't for Tatum rolling an ankle on really the very first possession of Game 7, they might have been in the finals last year. So this is kind of their first time where like everything's kind of aligned perfectly, where they've just been start to finish the best team in the NBA. Obviously, Porzingis got hurt, but it didn't really matter. Now he's back. So I just think it's their year. And then you kind of mentioned those bench guys. Like, what are you going to get? Do you said you trust the Mavs more than the Celtics? I disagree. I think we saw TJ McConnell. Everybody was losing their mind over his playoff run. He's so good. Well, that's how he was all regular season. And it's been the same way with Peyton Pritchard. He's been that tough all year long. People just haven't realized it until recently. I think Peyton Pritchard is an excellent player for the Celtics, and I love him coming off the bench. And it bumps Al Horford down to the bench too. So I mean, I think I trust the Celtics just a little bit more in their
I agree with you. Especially, I trust the Drew Holiday, Derek White, kind of third and fourth best players more than I trust Dallas's third and fourth best players. But Payne Pritchard, you saw a lot of the Indy series. He had some rough goes of it in the Indy series. I think it was Game 3. He was really bad, especially in the first half. And that sounds like it's Payton Pritchard. Moving Al Horford to the bench is huge. That means I don't have to see Luke Cornett minutes anymore, even though he's been hurt. And I don't have to see is that Xavier Tillman getting minutes for the Celtics? No, it's not.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God we don't have to see that.
I don't have to see any more of those minutes. So that's a big plus for Boston. But yeah, I mean, look, it could go either way. I think if Dallas can get it to 7, I always take the best player, and Luka's the best player. But God, it's very much can PJ Washington shoot 40% from 3, and can Derrick Jones Jr. shoot however long? Because I think like Boston could sit back and drop coverage, very possible, especially with the length of Kristaps. But eventually, when it cuts down to the fourth quarter, like they're gonna double Luka and get the ball out of his hands. And are we gonna see the corner threes from PJ Washington and Derrick Jones Jr.? I just think that's a huge key.
Yeah, I think you guys both nailed it right on the head with how this series could end up going, because like Johnny had said, it's not a wash necessarily between the two and the two studs on both teams, but we have 2 teams in the finals now that have unbelievable talent, right? Jaylen Brown has been unreal, unconscious this whole playoff run. We know what Jason Tatum can do. And then on the flip side, Luka and Kyrie have been doing it their entire career. And so you have those 2 guys that they might combine for 75 to 80 points. Okay, but where are the 35 other points going to come from? And so that's the question mark. And so the fact that Kristaps is coming back is not only huge for Boston in a sense where they get one of their studs back, but like you had mentioned, Tanner, you now have Al Horford coming off the bench and playing that role that he's used to playing. And then now you have Al Horford, whose minutes are going to be down. So what kind of production are you going to get out of him? So I love that take. I mean, you guys both nailed it right on the head. This is going to come. It's not going to come down to Luka going for 50, because Luka could go for 50 and they could still lose games, because if nobody else is involved, we all know that it takes about 115 to 120 points to win an NBA game. Well, 50, let me tell you, that's not half of 115, 120. So what are those extra role players going to do? And I totally agree. PJ Washington's been unreal. Like, I kind of forget about him until he goes out there and just makes every corner 3 he looks at. Derrick Jones, obviously I'm a Bulls fan, so I've seen his, athleticism, and I mean, that dunk that him and Luka had was just unreal. So this is going to be a great series. I think this is the series that out of the West, we knew the East was going to be Boston. Unfortunately, Tanner, we knew the Pacers had no chance. Out of the West, this is a good series, right? Was it this Denver? I mean, who cared who came out of the West? It was going to be good because the West was so good all season. So super excited, man. Let's just get it going. Man, it's good. That's good that we have a good. I said it with the UConn and Purdue. The country and the world got a good finals. So let's just get to Thursday. So.
Yeah, another key real quick. I think it's huge that Boston can put multiple bodies on Tatum or on Luka and Kyrie. Like, who starts out on Luka? Like, I think Drew Holiday might start out in that matchup. That's why I put on Luka to start out. And you put Derek White on Kyrie. Derek White was all NBA defensively. So I don't know. I think Boston has a better roster, and I could like really easily see Boston winning the series. I don't know why. There's just something in me to pick Dallas. But Yeah, it's just gonna be really interesting because Jaylen Brown's gonna get a lot of those Luka minutes. Drew Holiday is gonna get a lot of those Luka minutes, and then off the bench, no one off the bench is really gonna guard Luka. But even when you match up on like Kristaps is like the only weak defender, and at the same time, like he's 7'3", it's hard to get a shot off over him. So it's gonna be. Game one's gonna be really interesting to me to see. I want to see how they guard Luka. Who starts out on him? How do they guard in the pick and roll? Like, are they just playing drop, letting him do his thing? But yeah. So you got anything else, or should we do the grid?
No, I'm good. I'm excited for the series.
All right, like I talked about, we got a grid. We just talked about the NBA. Well, this is the runner-up in each of the last NBA finals since 2006. I'll each give you guys 3 strikes. So this is the runner-up. Also, I did this completely off memory, so there could be a mistake, but I'm fairly certain that there's not. So, Tanner, 3 strikes. We'll start with you. I'll highlight the years as you guys get them right.
Yeah, all right. Those earlier ones are going to be somewhat difficult for me, and I need more time to think about it. So I'm going to just start off easy, and I'm going to go with the Miami Heat for 2023.
That is 100% correct. 2023 is off the board.
Am I right? Let's just do the team that we've been talking about. 2022, we got the Boston Celtics.
Good job, James. Hot start.
Hot start.
21 would have been the Suns.
Correct the mundo. T-Stir.
2019 is the Warriors.
Good job, James.
Come on, man. Go.
20 was the Heat.
It was. So just for those people, we are going to post this on the socials. On the screen is the team that won the finals that year, in case you're casual and don't know. Back to you, James.
2018 Cavs.
Yes, I was at LeBron's last ever game in Cleveland. Fun fact.
That's pretty fire.
2017 Cavs.
Yes, we should breeze through until we get to maybe
Yeah.
2013, 2012.
2016 Warriors.
Yes, sir.
Man, I didn't realize how boring the NBA Finals was for about 5 years there.
Yeah.
15 was the Cavs.
Yes. Now let's get interesting. I guess still not interesting. The bottom will be interesting.
Yeah, 14, we got the Miami Heat.
Yes, we do.
You
guys 2 strikes.
13, the Pacers should have been in the finals that year. Still pisses me off to this day. 13 was the Spurs.
You're right.
Oh, okay. I only know this because I saw something on Instagram, but 06 was the Mavericks.
That is correct. Going all the way down to 06.
Yeah.
12 would have been the Thunder.
Yes, T-Stir. Good work.
08
I know
was
one of the Lakers ones down there is going to trip you guys up.
08 was the Lakers.
Yes. That is correct. God, you guys are really cruising through this.
Oh, I know a Lakers 1 year. I got you.
2007 was that the no, that's not okay. I'm just gonna go easy here. 2011 was the Heat.
Yes. Okay. Here we're. I guess it's not even interesting yet, but we'll see. Here, 3 left.
So 2010 was Boston.
Yes. All right. These were the. I don't even think 09 is fairly difficult. A forgettable team, but
I know 09. I don't know 07.
All right, Tista, what you got?
I think I know the last 2, and if I have it in the correct order,
then go with 07, please. I know 09.
I think I'm going for 07. I'm down to 2 teams. Was 07 the Cavs?
It was the Cavs. LeBron.
Okay. Wow.
And
what was your other team in mind, Tanner?
Is the
Pistons.
Orlando
I think that was
Magic.
05.
And 09 was the Magic. Good job, James.
Orlando.
Wow,
Magic.
you guys cleaned through that. I really thought that you guys would struggle a little bit more, especially 2010 to 2006.
Yeah.
Let's go down to 2005 real quick. See if you guys keep going. 2005, the Spurs won it. Who did they beat?
Pistons.
That was the Pistons. 04 was the Pistons, and who they beat?
Lakers.
The Lakers.
Jeez, you guys are just going right through it. Good job, guys. So that's our grid. If you're watching on social, leave a like and a comment. They will get more increasingly hard as we keep doing
Wow.
grids.
That's cool. That's
We
cool.
wanted an easy one to get back into it.
That's cool.
0-3, the Lakers won. They beat the Nets.
0-3, the Lakers did not
I
win.
can tell you two. I can tell you 2000.
Wait.
The Spurs won 0-3. They beat
Oh
the,
yeah, 0-3, the Spurs one. You're right, and they beat the Nets. Whatever.
they beat the Nets. Yeah, Lakers won in 0-2 and 0-1.
Yeah, and they
And
played.
2000.
And
Yeah, they
2000.
played the Nets in 0-2 and 0-1. I'm for blanking on they played the Sixers.
Sixers.
Yeah, the Sixers.
In 2000 was the Pacers.
And
Come
then
on.
99. Do you guys know who won in 99? The Spurs won. Who do they play?
Knicks.
Good job, T. Come on, 8-seeded Knicks.
I didn't know that one.
And then we get to the Jordan ones.
You guys know who
we had
won
a
in
lot of games.
98, 97, 96?
Yeah, I know. Not those were all
Who won? Who won those championships?
the Bulls.
The Chicago Bulls.
Okay.
Wait, who beat the Bulls? The last team to beat Michael Jordan in a playoff series was
Don't care.
Orlando Magic.
Okay. Don't care.
Anyway, we only got a few minutes left. Let's head into baseball. Tanner, Cubs. What are your thoughts? They lost the series to the Reds. It was
6 in a
funny.
row.
They've lost 6 in a row.
6 series in a row.
Oh, I was about to say that they won one of those games against the Reds. Tanner, in a 30-second summary, how would you fix the Chicago Cubs? Name one thing you would do.
I would start playing PCA every single day in center field. He needs that. I just think they need his energy right now. He doesn't take a pitch off. He's a gamer. He makes him so much better defensively, right? You could play left fielder 10 feet closer to the left foul line, right fielder 10 feet closer to the right field foul line. So like he just improves your outfield defense dramatically. They're hitting the ball actually really hard right now. They're just hitting into some pretty tough luck. I think the other day, Sunday was pretty frustrating. All those line drives right at people. But honestly, I just think they just need to play PCA every day. That'd be a nice fix. Very hopeful. They have 27 straight games versus teams at or below 500. So,
James, what would you do? One thing.
Continue to just go out there and like with the best product, like genuinely, like the now that David Bodie's up, which I am a huge fan of some David Bodie action. Tanner might absolutely hate it, but I'm a big fan of David Bodie. Here's the thing. I don't know what they can do better. We've already gotten to the point. The bullpen needs to pitch better. We need to score some runs. That's simple baseball. But the thing is, for me as a Cubs fan, what I'm looking for this Cubs team to do is to get to the break at 3 games over 500. That's the goal. Get to the break at 3 games over 500. We have a great opportunity to do so. If not, we should be well over that 500 mark with this schedule upcoming. Get to the All-Star break, 3 games over 500. And I think this Cubs team's got enough veteran leadership to get through that second half of baseball. And you're going to see some teams like the Brewers, who, again, I'm not big on, okay, but they keep surprising me because they keep winning baseball games. I think they might die out a little bit. And then I think the Cubs have a really good chance to win this division. But right now, as it's set, is we're digging ourselves a hole. So we got to come back, All-Star break, 3 games above 500, and the Cubs will win the division. That's the key for me.
Yeah, good stuff.
About the Rays. Come on, talk about the Rays.
Well, the Rays, they lost 2 or 3 of the Orioles, but very good series. The Rays probably should have won 2 or 3. They should have won the game on Friday. The bats finally woke up a little bit. The bullpen continues to improve. But if you're the Rays, man, it just so happens the 2 best teams in the American League are in the AL East. It's just how it is right now. The Orioles and Yankees are playing such good ball. I think they're both right at 20 games over, and they just so happen to be in both your division. It's going to be the same thing. Get to 500 at the All-Star break. Get your guys back. Josh Lowe is back now, thankfully. Get him back. Get the rest of your arms back, and then go make a push for a wild card. We saw it with the Rangers last year. You just got to get in. And I think if you're in the American League wild card, you can get in with 88 to 92 wins. And if the Rays stay right at 500, a little bit over, they can make a push for that. So yeah, just quickly on the Rays, a little bit better there. Nothing too new for them. Quickly, we got three minutes left here. Tanner proposed a good question last week, and I saw this. I think it was either Bleacher Report or ESPN did this. It was, what would you rather do? So, James, I'll ask you first. Would you rather sit courtside at an NBA Finals Game 7, or would you rather sit front row at a Super Bowl?
I would rather sit courtside at an NBA Finals Game 7, just because the arenas at the Super Bowl is so big, and
Yeah.
like honestly, it's such a big field that sometimes the better view is on the
Up a little
couch
bit.
or just
Yeah,
on your
yeah.
couch. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, Game 7 courtside.
See, what about you?
Yeah, 100%. Gonna take the NBA Finals courtside. I agree. I actually prefer when I go to football games to sit up higher, just because I like to see the whole entire field and see the whole play develop. You can't see that first row. If the question were sit anywhere you want at the Super Bowl, I would by far pick the Super Bowl. But NBA courtside, I mean, you can't really beat that. I mean, at NBA courtside games, I've never sat courtside. That'd be great if I could someday. But I've sat close enough to the court, like I can imagine how up close and personal it is courtside, and I think that would be so sick.
Yeah, interesting. I'd also pick courtside at NBA game. The NFL players talking about the Super Bowl is like a corporate event, so it's like a lot of corporate fans. It's like quieter than like the AFC Championship game. So I thought that was interesting. I sat courtside one time at Atlanta Hawks game. It was a Christmas present for my dad, and I sat next to Ti. So that was funny. But shout out Frank Shields.
I've only ever been to 2 NBA games, and I sat so high, I wasn't even sure if we were playing basketball. So
Well, that's all right. But anyway, we're gonna wrap it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, comment, send to someone, and we'll see you guys next time.
see ya.
Peace.